Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I am Dr. Ayele Okine, and this is This Vet Wants You to Know. Today I want to talk about being a veterinarian. I'm going to get real on you today. I have people that come up to me and say, "Oh, I wanted to be a vet," or "My daughter wants to be a vet." If you want to be a vet, change your mind. Honestly, it is something that I would not advise anyone to get into without knowing details. Don't get me wrong, I love being a veterinarian, but I don't love it every day. I don't love it every minute of the day. It is very hard. I spend way more time at work than I spend with friends and family, and it does weigh down on you a bit. The big things to keep in mind are, in order to be a veterinarian, you do have to have a 4-year college degree. It's going to be very heavy in things like biology and microbiome and organic chemistry, statistics, physics, anatomy, all the things that you hoped in high school you'd be done with. No, these are all things that you need to finish up your bachelor's degree. And then after that, you have to get into veterinary school, and that is one of the most difficult things to do. It is more competitive than human medicine, just because there's fewer schools, but there are new schools coming out, and so it may get a bit easier to get in. But there's a lot of people that want to be veterinarians, and so it can be very, very competitive. So for your bachelor degree, you want to make sure that you're not slacking off. You want to make sure that you're getting good grades, because you're going to need all of those things to get into veterinary school. Also, when you apply to veterinary school, not only are they going to look at grades, but a lot of the colleges and universities are going to want either an in-person interview or some sort of summary, some sort of written statement as far as what sets you apart from other people looking to do the same thing. And so you really have to sell yourself, not only in writing, but also a lot of times in person. And that can be a bit difficult. It was difficult for me. I have a hard time selling myself when I'm sitting down in front of people that are staring at you, that aren't smiling, that don't know you, that really, maybe want to be somewhere else. And you really have to tell them that this is what you want to do and why. You need to be set apart from other people applying, especially people that may have better grades than you, or that may have spent more time doing extracurricular activities that set them apart. And so that can be a bit difficult. Once you get into veterinary school, it is 4 years. So that is going to be your doctorate degree. Again, they say C's get degrees, but again, the grades really do set you apart for the next stages in your life. And so although yes, you can get C's and B's, depending on what you want to do afterwards, you still need to put in the effort, make sure that you are studying and learning and are around people that are going to do the same thing, so that once you're done, you can go and get a job and still be competitive. What I did, and what a lot of veterinarians do after vet school, is they'll do a general internship. So they call it a medicine and surgery internship. And basically, that's where you learn to be a veterinarian. Vet school is nice, you learn all of the book facts. But as far as putting those facts into practice, that's where it gets a little bit more challenging. So, doing an internship, I would highly recommend, because it helps you put that book learning into, this is a case, this is how I apply it, this is how I save a life, or this is how I do the best that I can to save a life. It is going to be very rigorous. I was fortunate to be able to do an internship where I had 2 days off a week. That is something that I still look back on and say, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that I had that, because after that, that is not often the case. But I did, and I worked my butt off. I didn't get much sleep. I cried at home. I got frustrated with myself. I got frustrated with the job. I was put on the spot, but it helped me learn to be a veterinarian, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So when you apply for an internship, again, they're going to look at your grades, they're going to look at your rank, and again, a lot of interviews, they want to know who you are and why they should pick you. And so an internship can help you really fast track into actually practicing and doing what you need to do. After that, I decided that I wanted to specialize. I'd kind of been deciding, during veterinary school what I wanted to do, and internal medicine was what really excited me and what seemed to be challenging. There no 2 days were the same. So after my general internship, I applied for one residency, which I would not advise. Applied to a ton. You're going to interview, you're going to have to sell yourself again. But I only applied to one and I didn't get it, and I panicked. And so what I did next was actually apply for a specialty internship in internal medicine. And so that was a year of, again, working my butt off. I had no days off scheduled other than, if we happened to send all of our patients home on a weekend, great, I got an extra day here and there, but it really was a 7-day-a-week job. And it wasn't like a 9 to 5 job. This was, I'm getting to work at I think 7 or 7:30 in the morning, and I leave when the work is done. So that could have been, yay, it's 6 o'clock, but often it was 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock every day for a year. Luckily, the program that I was in, they actually had residencies, and so I ended up staying on. They granted me the ability to stay on for a 3-year residency, so 3 more years of breaks only when we had managed to get all of our patients out of the hospital. But again, I wouldn't trade it. I learned to be an internist there. I got confidence in myself. I had backing of great mentors. It really was a wonderful experience. And again, not for everyone. You don't have to do an internship and a residency to be a veterinarian. If you want to be a specialist, you at least have to do the general internship plus or minus the specialty internship, depending on your program and how competitive it is. And then a residency that can be anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Most are going to be 3 to 4. And during that time, the other thing that, I think veterinary school mentioned but didn't really go into a whole lot of detail about is loans. I partied and I, withdrew money and lived very comfortably during veterinary school, and I didn't have time to work, and I didn't make much in my internship, talking $35,000 a year while my loans were still accruing interest. And so by the time I actually finished with my, residency, my loans were way more than they were when I graduated. And so all of those things you have to think about, you have to pay all those things back. And then that's just the beginning. So once you're done with all of that and you can, add extra letters after your name, say I'm a veterinarian, I'm a veterinary specialist, then that's where the real journey kind of starts. And the reason I say really think about what you want to do is because I'm meeting people often on the worst day of their life. They're not their best, they are stressed, they're worried, they have financial constraints, and in a lot of cases they take that out on you. And it's not on me, but we all take it very personally because we care, and that's why we do this job. But I don't deal with people that are happy, that are on their best behavior, and that really wears down on you because it's easier than it's easier for a person to find a reason to take out things on you and lash out at you than it is to really cope with the fact that their pet could be dying or that their pet's really sick and they don't know what's going on. They don't know how they're going to afford it, how they're going to balance that with their job and their other responsibilities. And so in a lot of cases it gets taken out on us. I have great clients that through the whole process are wonderful and appreciative, but a lot of people, at least in those initial appointments, just I'm the third, fourth person that they're seeing, their pet's getting worse, and it's really hard, and it can be very challenging to try to remain positive in those scenarios where people are really upset. And sometimes the anger develops after the visit. Sometimes they'll think about it afterwards and write a terrible review. And again, it's nothing that you did wrong. It's just, it's easier for them to take it out on you than to deal with the issue at hand. And so there is a high rate of suicide in veterinarians and veterinary staff, and the pay for what you do is nowhere near where it would be if you were in human medicine. And so it gets really tough. And so I would highly think about it. Follow a veterinarian, talk to a veterinarian, consider your options.